Hi, I'm Hailee Forlenza, and I chose for my Newsbrief to look at the assassination of Charlie Kirk, who was the CEO of Turning Point USA. He was shot at Utah Valley University on September 10th. His death created a lot of controversy online and on social media, with both sides being very prevalent, one of the sides being mourning, and then the other side being celebrating. Because of people's public opinions posted on social media and online, this also created more controversy with employers firing their employees because of their public opinions online. And I found two articles that talked about this controversy. The first one was CBS. This had multiple examples, and they brought in lawyers and HR representatives to who had experience with people being fired because of their opinions to talk about this. They came to the conclusion that companies do have the right to fire their employees for their public opinions since they also represent the company. They also talk about how the First Amendment does not protect employees in private sectors and has some limitations on employees in public sectors as well. They also talk about how when you are hired by a company, you enter a contract with your employer, and either side has the right to terminate it if they deem necessary. The second case I looked at was from NPR. It's followed one person, and she believed that it was unfair and that it was state censorship. She also talks about how she believed that political public figures were pushing for the for pushing for them to fire their employees who spoke out about this. And then she also talked about how this is a gray area and there isn't set consequences and limitations for this. So my ethical question is, should an employee's speech be entirely free, or should there be limitations on speech with consequences from employers? I chose to look at this because of how prevalent it was in social media and how often I was seeing um, opinions and comments about his death. And I was really interested to learn out more about people being fired because of it. And I also didn't realize how many people were being fired due to this. So for the connection to class, I looked at it from a utilitarian point of view, and I think from that point of view, they do have the right to fire them because it saves other employees from hate and saves the reputation of the company. I also looked at it from fairness and optimization. Mainly, is it equal for them to be firing them, or are they firing them in use for reputation and profits. I think it's equal if they do it for both sides, not just one. And my recommendation would be for companies to be more clear how they represent the company in and out of company time, list out the consequences, and to give reasoning on why they're being fired.